priority. Minister, according to the 2023-2024 departmental plan, PSPC is considering strengthening its integrity regime, and I hope that this will include reviewing the ineligibility and suspension policy. I'm sure you're aware that we've recently been studying McKinsey. You were here on this. And given the moral and ethical breaches of this organization, it's astounding to me, actually, that McKinsey passed the integrity regime. I reviewed the regime quite extensively. Application 4, to me, seems to have far too many exemptions. But I'm particularly shocked that McKinsey passed Section 6, Part B, Roman numeral 5, where the supplier's been convicted of an offense. And I recognize in the States McKinsey was not convicted of an offense, but I certainly think a $600 million payout over 49 jurisdictions is something that should make the Canadian government look twice. In addition, Roman numeral 6 of the same Part B is trafficking in substance, and I would say that this definitely should have given pause to the Canadian government to reevaluate McKinsey. What the current integrity regime does exclude is human rights, the rule of law, and reckless disregard for the health and well-being of Canadians. And so I'm sure you're aware of the notice of motion that I've given, and I'll read it here today, although I'm not moving it, Chair. That the committee report to the House that in light of the government's announcement that it will join the class action lawsuit against McKinsey and Company for their role in the opioid crisis, and I'll add that your government voted against our motion, both in the House today, both of our motions, the committee calls on the government to reform the integrity regime associated with procurement in order to exclude companies that have shown reckless disregard for the health and well-being of Canadians, as well as for human rights and the rule of law, which throughout the testimony in this committee we have seen McKinsey and Company has consistently and repetitively done. What are your thoughts on this motion that I have on notice, Minister?
Thank you very much, Ms. Kusi. And first of all, I want to point out that we are actively reviewing the integrity regime, which was brought in by the previous Conservative government. We're looking at it both for areas where perhaps it's too stringent and areas where it's too lax. And you feel strongly that in this particular case, it is potentially too lax. We are clearly abiding by the current integrity regime. The questions that you're asking, the discussion at this committee is all input that we value. And I can assure you that we are taking the issue of the integrity regime very, very carefully. We're looking at it carefully. In fact, it was one of the things that the deputy mentioned to me when I was moved into this particular portfolio.
We also brought in Accountability Act 1, but that didn't make the government do anything in regards to the report from OGO for 2017, and that's why we have Bill C-290. Thank you, Chair.